Happy birthday to you. Today is all about birthday cards. We all need them in our lives. We're all getting older. Some are happy about it, some are sad about it. Today is all about birthday cards. I'm going to show you 5 different techniques, some from beginners techniques to more intermediate, but all can be done using what you already have. So let's go ahead and bang out some of those birthday cards. Let's get to it. All right, let's start with some basic stamping. This is a floral stamp set that I have, and I'm going to be using Catherine Pooler inks for this. And the reason why I chose these inks is, first of all, it's the only colored inks I really have because I love them, but also because you can do multiple techniques with them. So these are water reactive. You can also do some heat embossing with them. So for starters, I'm just going to stamp this floral image a couple of different times with watercolored paper using different colors. That's all I'm doing here. I am using my Misty Stamping Positioner tool here. It's super easy, and I've got this little doorknob thing to help push, I don't know what it's called, Debbie tool I think it's called. I got it from Etsy. Anyway, it just helps me push things down without having to use my hands. And here I am going in and inking that up with just a couple of different colors here. I'm careful as I'm putting the ink pad on the stamp to not go over other colors because I don't want to contaminate my ink pad with different colors. So this one and this using the Misty stamping tool is key here because it keeps everything in place. So for this particular one, I want to show you how you can heat emboss this. If you work fairly quickly, Catherine Pooler inks stay wet a little bit longer than standard inks, and you can heat emboss them. So I just sprinkled on some clear embossing powder and heat set. These other two I did not heat set, but this shows that the inks are water reactive. So I just spritzed on some water and watched the ink move around, and then I'm just going to let those dry as is. Now, because this was heat embossed, you can see I sprayed some water on and nothing moved. Every color is trapped underneath that heat embossing. And then I just added some ink to my glass mat. You can use an acrylic block or a piece of plastic, and I'm just smushing the ink colors down and picking up all the color this way. And I love this because the original colors of the stamp is trapped underneath, and then I can add some color on top. This particular stamp set has some coordinating sentiments and die cuts, so I went ahead and did that off camera. And then I'll just go ahead and figure out what I want to do here. These are all the ones that I went ahead and die cut. Now I have all these to work with, and any that I don't use, I'll put in my magic mug. I decided to stay monochromatic here, so I'm just going to pop up that floral image with some foam dimensional tape. This is optional. You can just glue it down flat if you want to, totally up to you. And then I'll just add the little sentiment there. And this card is done. You've got your first happy birthday card. You can do this in masculine colors, feminine colors. What is masculine and feminine colors in this day and age, really? Who cares? Whatever floats your boat. All right, so that's the first one. The next one, let's use some of these Lindy's Magicals. I went to the Nashville Craft Retreat a couple weeks ago, and I was introduced to these Lindy's Magicals, so I went and bought some more, and here's all the colors that I have, and I swatched them onto some paper. And these are just like little bursts of color with powder. So I'm going to do it a couple different ways. The sun is setting, so excuse all the weird color happening. So here I'm just going to sprinkle on some of that powder onto some dry watercolored cardstock. There's no water there or anything. And then I'm just going to go ahead and spray some water. And look at all the fun colors that you get. I mean, these are very vibrant, so a little powder goes a long way. So basically when you invest, $5 or whatever it was, this is going to last you a lifetime of these powders. Now I'm going to go ahead and add 2 different colors this time. I'm making sure to use colors that when they mix together, they will blend nicely so they don't sit across from each other on the color wheel. Then I decided to add in more colors. It's really just about playing. And you can either add the powder and then add the water, or you can add water and then sprinkle powder over the top. Really, the sky's the limit. I even went in with a darker blue here. And I'm just having some good old time with this. Spray it with some water. Watercolor cardstock is key. Anytime you're using a lot of water, you need to use watercolored cardstock. You can get it any place. Even the big box stores like Michael's has it. You don't need to spend a lot of money on your watercolored cardstock. And I'm going to go ahead and I've added a ton of color here and a ton of water. So I'm just going to set this aside to dry. See why I'm using watercolor cardstock here? Anyway, so I had a little bit of fun here. Now here I am. I had water on the paper and now I'm sprinkling in some of the powders. And look at this. This is probably one of my favorite ones because it has all the pink and the yellow in it. It reminds me of like pink lemonade or something. It's just so much fun. So you can make a ton of these panels and let them dry, and then you'll have all these backgrounds to do fun stuff with. And even if you get a panel that is not your cup of tea, like you don't like it, you think it's butt ugly, you can still do something with it, so don't toss them. So here they all are once dry. And there's some have sparkles in them, some are matted. This one is not my favorite, so we're going to do something with this. So I'm going to use this dyes with backgrounds that you create that you just don't love, you think are butt ugly, like this one. Easy peasy. Word dyes, background dyes, things like this. You can really do a lot. Don't throw them away. You can do something with it. So I chose this one because there's a lot of cuts in this dye. And any of the supplies that I'm using here that are still available for purchase, I will link in the description below. But see what you have first. Don't run out and buy stuff. So I decided a black background would work. So I'm using my favorite glue. This is Barely Arts glue. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue that right down to the black background. I think those colors against that dark are really contrasting and they look really fun. And then of course I go to my magic mug where I have a ton of sentiments already pre-stamped and die cut, and I'll just add that down. I did color that sentiment strip. It was originally white and I just colored it with an ink pad. It's called swinking. I have an entire swinking video that I'll link in the description below, but here's a look at this card. Done and very vibrant and colorful, I think. All right, here's another one of those panels we did. So here's a word die. There's tons of word dies on the market. Now I accidentally die cut too close to the left-hand side, so I cut it apart on accident. So I'll fix that with glue, but take note, don't do that. So I'll add some glue and then I'll secure that back together and I'll put that on a white card base. So you see I have the hello die right there that I die cut from the panel. I'm also going to go ahead and die cut a white hello as well. So I'm going to get a twofer for this card. And you know I love my twofers, a 2-for-1. So I'll go ahead and I just did this with white cardstock. You could do whatever you want, colored cardstock. You can ink blend your own color. You can dip it in embossing powder, whatever floats your boat. But I already had that beautiful background, didn't want to take away from it, so I stuck with white. And then I'm going to do something you rarely ever see on my channel, which is very simple in adding sequins. I got these at the Nashville retreat as well, so I wanted to use them. I am unclear how they're supposed to go, like a visual triangle, rules of 3. I don't know. So if this is not perfect placement, forgive me. And then because, I die cut too far to the left, I'm just going to add something on the right-hand side to just center everything together and make it more proportional. I chose to use washi tape. You can use a strip of cardstock to create a little border, whatever you want to do. But I still have this striped washi tape, and this is a look at this finished card. Isn't it fantastic? Thank you, Proven, for sponsoring today's video. So I have a 3-step skincare routine by Proven, and it's actually customized based on your needs. Well, I do have a 50% off coupon, so hang with me. So here are the 3 products that I have. It's a cleanser, a daily moisturizer, and a night cream. But what you do is you take this quiz and you identify all the areas of concern. For me, it's dark spots and wrinkles. For sure. So they take into consideration what you fill out the quiz with, and then they formulate it based on your quiz answers. So it's very sciencey, but anyway, I've been using it for a couple months, and I tell you, my forehead wrinkles are not as defined, and my sunspots have faded. So I really feel like this works. I do have a 50% off coupon for you to use, and it's in the description below. So after using it for several months, I can tell you that it does work. So if you try it, make sure you use the coupon in the description below. I really love it, and I think you will too. Now we still have one more panel, so this time I decided to run that panel through with an embossing folder. This is a 3D embossing folder, and you'll get like a puffed up side and an inset side. I'll show you in just a second. So I'm just going to run it through. This is my little Cuttlebug. I've had it forever, bought it off of eBay like 18 years ago. Still have it, still love it. Works, don't fix what ain't broke. So you get 2 sides. You get an inlaid side and a puffed up side. And in this case, I worked with the inlaid side because that's just how I put it through my machine. And then I just picked some stuff out of my magic mug, and I love having all these things already pre-cut and dyed and everything. Having a magic mug really helps pulling things together easily. I will link below what my magic mug is in the description below. I have a video all about it. And then I'm just building this out here. So I've got a little circle die cut, a yay die cut that I've already pre-cut and colored. It's from a birthday set from Catherine Pooler. And then I've got a sentiment here for birthday. And look at that. You just slap it on there and you've got your card. Look at that. How fun and colorful and pretty is that? Easy peasy. So I still have that die cut from the hello. So here's the 2 sides again. So this time I'm going to work with the puffed up side, and I'll just go ahead and glue this hello die. Remember I had my twofer. No sense in not using it. It's there. And you can go in and add a handwritten birthday sentiment on the inside, or you can add something that says it's your birthday to make this hello card birthday themed. And, you know, it's pretty easy. See, just like this. Hello, happy birthday. Like it's birthday card. Boom. So fun. Lots of stuff going on here. You've got the texture from the background, the color from the die cut. This is just so much fun and simple, simple, simple. All right, so another thing we're going to do is do some ink blending for your birthday card. This is just an embossing folder that I ran through my Cuttlebug machine just like I did earlier, and I'm going to do some ink blending with different colors. And you can do however many colors or however few colors as you want. You can use whatever blending tools you have. I have so many different kinds. It's not even funny. I love them all. I can't tell you, which one that I think you should use because it's basically, up to you and what you like. So anyway, I'm just going in with different colors. And I'll just do some ink blending. Very simple here. I'm not even trying to be, I'm not worried about those lines in between the transition colors because I'm going to flick on some water here. Again, love Catherine Pooler inks. So I'm going to flick it on, let it dry naturally. And then not only do I have the texture from the embossing folder, but I have the water droplets there too, which I think are so much fun. Now, once it's dry, make sure your panel is good and dry. I'm going to go over the top very lightly just to bring out the white and those sprinkles. Very lightly tap the ink pad right over the top. That's pigment ink, white pigment ink, so I needed to let it dry. And then I just added a die cut from my magic mug. So there you have it, a ton of birthday cards using different techniques, all that you can do probably with supplies you already have in your house. Everybody needs birthday cards. I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know which one was your favorite technique. Let me know if you have any in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts as well, and I will see you next time for my next video.